Welcome to Fuel Disclosure, a Moffitt Services podcast. On this show, you will learn how Moffitt Services is pioneering the fuel delivery industry. From fuels and lubricant product news, to stories from the community, to recent industry trends with subject matter experts. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a moment from Moffitt. To learn even more about the Moffitt Services difference, visit MoffittServices.com. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Fuel Disclosure. As always, I'm your host, Landri St. Clair, and today I'm joined with Paul Blattenberger. Paul, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I'm so glad you're here today, by the way. Thank you for taking a little bit of your time. I'm excited to get to know about this part of the business, and thank you for joining. How are you today, Paul?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on. I've been watching the podcast the last few weeks and such and months, and happy to be on. So
Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited. We've never spoken to lubricants in general, so I think this is going to be a very insightful episode.
I hope so.
So I'm excited. To get us started off, will you give us a little bit of background about yourself and then how you joined the Moffitt team?
Okay. From a lubricant standpoint, I've been selling lubricants since 1997.
Okay.
Previously, just from a family business, I've always been in the lubricants side of things with my father. And a couple years ago, I went from being a distributor rep to a supplier national accounts rep and such, and wanted to get back on the ground, back where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And Moffitt was a perfect fit for me, and came on last November, and so far so wonderful.
I love to hear it. So you've had a lot of experience in the lubricants business, you would say.
I would like to think, yes. But there is somebody always that knows more out there. That's all there is to that.
Can you tell me what a typical day looks like at Moffitt for you?
Well, a good example is we were just talking about my visit down to our George West facility. I was working with a couple reps down there the last 2 days. So those days, we're seeing customers, we're seeing prospects. Mainly with the customer side, we see customers to follow up on how we're doing. Because it's nice to say that we have customers, we're doing good business with them, they're happy with our product, but I like to hear that from their standpoint, their point of view. So prospects, we're always happy to bring on new business, and our reps are doing wonderful opening doors down there. And then I got a really good chance to see our operations down there. We have a great team led by Jonathan Burr and Jesse Keys down there. So they're doing wonderful on the inventory, the logistics, deliveries, and processing those orders and such. So that's when I get into the field. If I'm more in the office, sitting along with you and everybody else, it's basically trying to evolve our business, to grow it, to be better on the products performance-wise, but also do better in the process of orders, logistics, deliveries, and invoicing. So we're definitely on the growing side when it comes to lubricants, when it comes to Moffitt.
Since last November, we've seen like a spike in growth, right, for just our lubricants department in general.
Yes.
Can you speak to me a little bit about that, where you started from, and then the steps that you took to make sure that growth happened?
Okay. We're very happy that we have grown, very much so, almost doubled our business on a monthly basis at this point. But as much as I would like to say, well, that when I came on, that was just something that spurred it on. But I really think the team was primed, and our products, our lineup, our production of those products, everything was just fitting very well. And I think from my standpoint, I was very happy to spur that on the sales side.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And what would you say, what makes the Moffitt lubricant program different than competitors?
I would say, and I've had a little time to think about this, it's a great question, because there's just not one thing that makes us maybe a little different. It's hard to always compare ourselves to the competition. So what we tend to do is we try to compare ourselves to what we're doing. And I would say, we have a critical eye on our operations, on our products and our sales team and such. So I would say number one is our process of how our sales team, when they get orders, they get them into the inside sales. They'll process them, get them out to the warehouse, inventory, and in many respects, and from an experience standpoint, I've been very impressed that we can actually deliver the same day most of the time. If it's physically able, we get it done.
Yes.
So the other parts of what we do is just that we actually try to partner with our customers. Partnering is something where everybody likes to say. We partner, but then they just want to have the good side of the partnership where they're just selling products. But we like to get involved here where the customers want to get better at, where they're involving, where their fleets are growing or they're having issues that come up from a lubricant standpoint on top of other areas. Really the last thing that makes us stand out, in my opinion, is that our ownership gets very much involved down to the ground level. I've even had customers say that Roy Moffitt gave them a call directly, and we're very impressed with that. And that's hands-on, and that to me is wonderful. I appreciate that much from the ownership.
Absolutely. I like to ask everyone this question. If you could use one word to describe Moffitt, what would it be?
One word.
Yes. I know, it's difficult.
It is.
But
one word.
It's fun to hear everyone's responses.
Well, I would say the one word would be caring. Because caring means that you want to do the best for that person, whether it means a personal side, business side. It encompasses a lot of things in that one word. So, but
I like it. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a different question. I like that.
I know. I like to throw it in there. It's not on the sheet. It's off script,
Exactly.
Off script kind of thing.
Well, that's
what would you say? What type of customer do you typically service? And can you explain that a little bit to me?
I would say right now, when I first came on, we were very strong with oil and gas and construction. Our lubricants program was built around servicing those types of customers from a product line and servicing. Kind of went along with the fuel side. If you're a construction outfit and you're using our fuels, you must be using lubricants. It fit in very well. Since then, we've really kind of expanded into manufacturing. I would even say fleets. We have been strong before, but we're always looking at commercial fleets. So, but the industrial side is something that from my previous experience and what I like to get into, plastic injection molding, metalworking, things to that nature. I think we're getting stronger in those areas as the prospects and the opportunities come about. So, but right now it's nice to say whatever industry we go after, we can definitely support it, both product and support.
And Paul, can you tell me what the lubricant product lineup is?
At this point, we have all fleet oils for both passenger vehicle and HDMO, which is over-the-road tractors, construction equipment and such. We have a full line of hydraulic fluid, even non-zinc, the biodegradable or inherently biodegradable type of hydraulic fluid. That's always very important nowadays when working around waterways and lagoons and lakes and such like that. We handle greases, gear oil, synthetics, a big part of the lubricants business, and even moving into the future is going to be more synthetics. Synthetics allow you to have longer extended drains, so you don't have to change out oil as much, and you have more uptime and more money-making capability with that piece of equipment. So I think we're hitting on all cylinders no pun intended, but when it comes to a good product line from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of goes to our Moffitt offer of, we like to call ourselves the one-stop shop. And so we even can offer those products when it comes to lubricants, you would say. Would you say that's true? Oh,
yes. One-stop shop. That's a great concept. A lot of, there again, just like the partnership idea, a lot of people like to say it. Moffitt follows through on it, very much so. And as far as the dumpsters, the on-site services, the portable toilets and such, those units, and everything else that we're just kind of crawling into in that business, the lubricants is being pulled right along with that. So it is nice to be part of that whole program.
And exciting, because there's exponential growth since, when the company started in 2014 into now 2023, I would say. We are just growing rapidly in all the different departments. So
amen to that. It's nice to hit your expectations and exceed it. And then, kind of like I alluded to earlier, we're very critical inwardly. And now we're like, okay, we hit that threshold. Now we have to increase that threshold because we want to keep growing and keep spreading and such on the business side. So happy to and excited that it's there, it's working. So just a few more additions here and there to our program. Oil analysis. We've brought on Polaris Labs to be our third party to help us out on that. So little tweaks like that are only going to make us better.
Absolutely. And lastly, can you speak to any industry trends that our viewers or listeners should be aware of when it comes to lubricants in particular?
I'm actually glad you asked that. So,
okay, good.
Because I was discussing this with our product formulator, and they're right now with diesel engine oils. Where the main spec is CK4 with a FA4. F is for fuel economy, viscosity bracket to that. That's called PC11, which is product category 11. In the next probably year or so, I think it's 2024, there will be a PC12. Obviously, a lot of that is going to be based around lower emissions, trying to help out our diesel particulate filters and catalytic converters to work better, longer, and be more efficient to knock down the emissions that automobiles and diesel trucks put out. So there's a lot of changes going on in that world, a lot of different formulations that are going to come out, a lot less viscosity on a passenger vehicle. Your vehicle, your Jeep, I think, probably runs a 5W20 or 5W30.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure. You would know. Would know.
We can look that up very quickly.
Okay, perfect.
But as far as diesel engines, 530 and 520 were almost too thin to run. To think that a heavy diesel engine can hold together at that lighter viscosity. Well, that's where we're going in the next year or two. You're going to see a lot of engine OEMs come out with saying we get better fuel economy by using the lesser viscosity numbers, like a 520 or 530. So there's a lot of good things going on there.
Yeah, and that diesel particulate filter, making them more clean, is that what you were saying? And then lower emissions. It all sounds very familiar because we sell the type of mobile diesel efficient fuel, and that kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh, exactly. And to speak on the fuel side for the mobile diesel efficient, you get a cleaner burn. You keep your internal parts cleaner, and you're not affecting the catalysts in the converters and the particulate filters and such, so they can work that much better. So it goes hand in hand, and plus you're getting better fuel mileage out of the whole side. So I study all my fuels a little bit, and we're not just totally
but
lubricants.
It seems like that's kind of where the direction lubricants is going too, which is exciting.
Oh, exactly. I've been through testing and studies with fleets that use synthetic engine oil, transmission, and differential oils, along with the better fuels and such, and they can see anywhere from 3 to 6% sometimes on a track. Now, out in the real world, it all depends on a lot of other little control points, weather, region, and such like that. But if you want the most out of your fuel and lubricants, and obviously that leads to operational availability. So if you want to have more uptime, then choosing products that we're putting out there help all the way through.
It really speaks to the Moffitt difference and why we are differentiated from our competitors. And
we partner with them in that sense. And very happy and proud to be part of the Moffitt group now. And we just started. That's what it really comes down to. We've only been here about 8 months.
Yeah.
So.
If I want to order some lubricants, what's the best way to do that, Paul?
Well, we have an outside sales group that's always pushing for more prospects and such. But if you do call into our Moffitt office, just make sure you do make it clear that you're looking for lubricants.
Okay.
And they will. And if I'm in the office, you might even get pushed over to me, and I'm happy to talk to anybody anytime about what they use, how they use it. Make sure. And I guess part of my role also is to make sure that people are using the right product, because a lot of times people will call in and they'll say, "Oh, I'm using this hydraulic fluid," and from my experience and training, I'll say, "Well, that's not a bad choice, but here's your better choice."
Okay.
So
yeah, and it seems to be like a multitude of different options, right? So
exactly, and OEMs really push that. We can talk about that on the next time you have me on for a podcast. We'll be a little bit more, maybe more of a technical talk, such like that. That'd be fun.
Then I would learn a lot if it was super technical.
Oh yes. We'll get the dry erase board up, and we'll do diagrams. We'll make it all.
Yes, sounds like a plan for sure.
Exactly.
So call into the Moffitt office. Maybe you can even speak to Paul himself directly.
Yes.
Get some expert advice on which lubricant to choose.
Yes. And from there, if everything goes well, we could have your product there the same day.
Yeah. 24/7.
I am amazed sometimes on how our team in Houston and George West and Midland, they work very hard to do that. And it's nice to say we have wonderful products, but at the same time, people have to have them and when they need them. That's first and foremost on that side.
Service is our business.
It's in the name.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for taking some of your time from today. I know you have a really busy schedule, so I appreciate you speaking with us about lubricants and telling the viewers a little bit more about what our products are and the Moffitt difference on choosing our lubricant products. So I appreciate it. Yep. And I hope to have you back for that technical talk.
Exactly. I had a wonderful time first time on, and and you do a wonderful job. So
thank you.
It will be fun to be rescheduled here.
Yeah, rescheduled for next year. You can tell us about even more growth and.
Yeah, more growth, more exciting things coming to all of our facilities. We're always evolving, always to the next level.
It's good to hear. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fuel Disclosure, a Moffitt Services podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a moment from Moffitt. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level with a team that delivers industry-leading service and no downtime, visit us at moffittservices.com.